What's the temperature out there,
Make
Sash?
sure you go on mute. Make sure you go on mute. What is up, world? In the house tonight. What is up, world? The fellas are in the house, back in action again, guys. We had a lot of stuff going on. March Madness, and we got a lot of Frazier games to come, guys. We are
They were
4-0 so far on tonight's plays. Looking well, looking good with some more follow. Now that we got a little break in the action from March Madness, more to come on that side. We are back in the NBA, guys, and a little hockey too in that way. But the fellas are in the house tonight, guys. Be sure to follow us on TikTok as well as Instagram, guys. Tossing out all those plays free of charge. We ask is you give us a follow, but those are on all of those social media accounts, guys. So be sure to give us a follow. Off and Rolling live on YouTube, Twitch, as well as X. And let's do a quick roll call in the house tonight. All right, the fellas are live in here. We got North Glen's finest, the Watchman in the house. Sach, how we feeling?
Feeling good, feeling refreshed. Plays today are going off good. 4-0 start. That's always a great sign. I just noticed that Witt has a life's too short to bet the under hoodie. I don't know how that got under my eyes, but I love that's a Barstool joint, I think I want to say. But no, I mean, shoot, it's good to be back. Good to have the March Madness, that first hectic weekend wrapped up. Glad to have Big E on ground, out of state. We sent him, we sent him on a full first-class trip to Vegas. He earned it. As you can see, he's live. I don't even know. He's at New York. He's at the National Handicap Convention that only a select group of people go to. Only a select group of people are invited to. Getting all the inside scoop for us heading into the Sweet 16. Just glad to be here. Glad to chop it up, see what we thought, see who we liked, see who we do not like anymore. But, yeah, it's good to be back, and I want to get ready and talk about it.
Absolutely, Sach. Good to have you in here, brother. And, of course, we got just one man. Glass in his hand, the Witster in the house with a sick hoodie. Got that nice cold light. Wit, how we feeling?
Well, after that thing, E gave us a little motion sick, and then disappointed with my picture. I'm the only one that doesn't have like a professional headshot that looks like a real estate agent getting started off in the biz. I kind of just look like a guy that you threw in for the show, but I get you a headshot.
Glad to have you here, Wit. Tell us about the hoodie real quick. Where'd you find that?
Got it off of Barstool Sports. Life's too short to bet the under. There's another one on there I ordered. I can feel it in my plums. And I got another one that says it's only money. I think you guys have seen that one. So a big Barstool guy. Respect them a lot. Good hoodie to rock around the house. Champion. So nice quality. Get yours. Pretty good stuff. But they got some funny ones, man. They got some funny ones on there. So shout out to Barstool Sports for outfitting me.
100%. Good to have you in here, Wit. Look, we got E back in the mix, guys. E, we got boots on ground. E, how are we doing tonight? And tell us about the Vegas extravaganza. Glad to have you out there, brother.
Woo, it's going nice. The weather's nicer than Colorado, but it's freaking cold out here. Yeah, pretty good, man. It's been a good journey. Learning a lot of stuff. I had to find a new location. I guess the internet wasn't too strong sitting out where I was, so I couldn't see any of you guys. I could just hear you. But I'm back.
Absolutely. Good to have you in here, E, doing your thing. As always, it's always a pleasure, guys. Got Boot Ground on in Vegas, and his plays are off and rolling today. Sach and myself 2-0 so far. E 2-0 as well, with more to continue. So Sach, we'll kind of walk through that real quick. How many plays do we have left from the 4-0 start?
So, like I said, we're 4-0. Me and you both have 2 plays left, and E has a full unit play and a half unit play left. The half unit play is Washington. The Chicago one doesn't look like it's going to hit unless it goes into overtime, so that's still live. We got your Harrison Barnes pick that just started, And yeah, I mean, we got about 12 minutes to figure out that one. Then we got Paul George, and then we have hockey. I have not checked the hockey yet.
It was tied 1-1.
1-1. So still lots of action left. Still lots of time left. Everything's up in the air. But 4-0. I mean, hey, if we just hit 1 or 2, we're a profitable day. So you can always go ahead and catch us, in the winner's circle. So that's a good sign.
Absolutely, Sachman. 4-0, like you said, guys, just be sure to follow all those social media accounts. Plays come out every day, no charge at all. We give you the stats, we give you the analytics. He's always coming out firing. Like we said this morning, he's one of the best hand tappers in the space. So this is just a privilege for you all to come on and get to see what he's doing, as well as me and Sach and Whit do a little extra on our own. How are we feeling tonight, though, fellas? Kind of wanted to go back to E real quick. E, any motion there in Vegas? Anything you're seeing? What are the people talking about, especially with the tournament, or any big games you're seeing out there? And how is it?
It's hot. It's hot. Haven't seen any big names yet because everything's kind of done for the weekend. You know what I mean? Gearing up for Wednesday, Thursday. Out here, it just moves on. It's on to the next thing. You have the women's NCAA going on. Baseball today, and of course NBA. They just jump right back into it. I'll tell you what's weird since I've been here last is a lot of the books, the front desks are going away, and it's going all the online kiosks. BetMGM's taking up almost everywhere I've been, and it's almost like an ATM. You can go to the window, but not to cash tickets. You go to load your card. It's a pretty interesting thing. But it's just technology, right? Just taking over, taking folks' jobs. The big places, MGM, they still have their windows and stuff. But here in New York, it's all shut down. Luxor, Mandalay Bay, all the same. It's fun, man. It's nice. It's cold out here, but not as cold as where you guys are. So we're thankful for that.
Absolutely. Well, good to have you out there. I know you're having a good time doing your thing. You were meant for Vegas, so it's good to have you there. I kind of wanted to go around the room, guys. Like we saw some of these first rounds, and now we got a lot of action left, but we get a little break right now in the NCAA Men's March Madness Tournament. What did you guys see so far? Any surprises, and what are you looking most forward to as the tournament goes on? We'll start with Sach.
I mean, yeah, I would say not the biggest surprise to, I guess, myself, obviously, that they won both games, but just NC State, how they're just continuing to just win. I know they're not the best team, like when you look at it on paper, but, I mean, me and you have been saying, and, Whitney were also saying, like, how they got hot, and we maybe didn't know if they would roll over into the tournament like that with how much games they were playing, but that NC State and Marquette matchup, I think, could be another dogfight. Marquette pulled it out against CU. CU very well could have won that game. And I think when you look at it, top to bottom, I think NC State is a little bit of a slighter better team than Colorado. Obviously, they have the more experience with playing better competition throughout the year. They have those big wins on their resume with Duke, the North Carolinas that, they beat a bunch of good, ACC teams and whatnot. And when you go and look at this spread again, you got NC State plus 6.5 going up against Marquette. And I think Marquette cannot stop DJ Burns. When you look at it again, Lampkin on CU had a solid game. But when you look at it, CU stopped feeding him the ball. And they stopped feeding him the ball with about 10, 15 minutes left in the second half. He wasn't going out there, obviously, for defensive purposes, but I think DJ Burns can really just sway the game to have them cover the 6.5. So I'm going to see where that line heads, but I really like that NC State and Marquette matchup for me personally, and I'll let the guys, say what they got to think about some of the other games and whatnot.
Yeah, first of all, I feel like E only flew out to Vegas to have a new background. That's like the dopest background you've had right there. You look like you're in a Harry Potter world or something with that background.
It's Little Italy. Let me go slow this time for you.
Yeah, there you go. Give me motion stick. There we go. Yeah. Last time I had to take my Dramamine, man. That shit made me sick.
Yeah.
No, but hey, so I think what we learned is that the Mountain West was what the Mountain West was. You got one team left with San Diego State. I think they had way too many teams in there. I think we talked about the mediocrity that was in the Mountain West. I think I think San Diego State's road stops with UConn. I think UConn's. Obviously they played in the title game last year. I think UConn still, first half may be close, but at the end of the day, UConn's going to run away with that one. So that's where I'm at with that one right now. The most intriguing matchup to me is Illinois and Iowa State, and that being a great offense against a great defense. It's the late game on Thursday, so it's the last game of the night. It's the last one to finish. And then the Clemson-Arizona one, the first one to kick off the day, intrigues me a lot. And, man, we're going to see if Arizona's for real. And Marquette, man, the Marquette NC State, to Sacha's point, we'll see what happens. But, man, I'm always going with the Big East basketball. Gonzaga, Purdue's interesting. Duke, Houston's. The second day outside. We'll see what happens with NC State, Marquette. But the last three games are going to be bangers. But I'm still the game I want to watch is Illinois, Iowa State. That's probably the game I want to watch most. And then second most is going to be Duke and Houston. See if Duke gets punched in the mouth, if they respond. If they don't respond, like they didn't when they were at NC State and North Carolina, I think Duke goes down. But if they play like they did the other night against James Madison when they got punched in the mouth, I think this is going to be a little bit different. So, but that Illinois, Iowa State, I'm leaning towards Iowa State from the defensive aspect. But I'll reserve that one for our show before the games.
All right, nice. I guess surprise, Kentucky, Auburn. They definitely surprised me. The goal is to get out that first few rounds, the first weekend. So I think what you're going to see now is the top teams are going to be top teams. And stuff usually levels out. And then for us as handicappers, it's more about the spread and not so much picking the Marquettes and the Creightons and these teams that the nation really hasn't watched. And now it's time to start looking at the spreads because historically that's what comes out of it. I'm looking forward to the Creighton-Tennessee game. But you guys know me, I'm a Big East guy, like Whit was saying, and the Marquette game. Don't sleep on Marquette. They're a 2 seed. That means they're a top 8 in the country. It's just that people don't. The Big East doesn't get shown a lot, so people don't know it, and we continue to see people get bit. I know Creighton could have lost that game 8 different ways, but they didn't. They're a tough team. I don't know how they're going to rebound. That's what I think is coming up with Tennessee. They're not going to be able to rebound with Tennessee. But I'll still ride with them. They're on my Final Four pick. But really what surprised me this week was Auburn and Kentucky. Very disappointed in those guys. I'd almost say horror.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on not as many the Big East to me is the best basketball in the country. Everyone wants to be on the ACC. But when you look top, I think the Big East is the best basketball in the country from a college basketball standpoint. What's your take on them Mountain West getting 7-8 teams in and them getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I told you guys, when it all started out, I was like the Big East guy was. If you guys remember our first show when we talked about the selection, I think it was the day after the selection show, and I was telling you, there's just a lot of teams. Seton Hall's still in there. I think Seton Hall, they're in it to win it in the NIT. They just beat the NIT champ from last year in North Texas, and they're getting ready to take on UNLV Wednesday. I guess all things equal, it just seems like the Mountain West got overshared. They got 6 selected, and then 2 teams had a chance to play their winners. Is there another when you guys think of Mountain West, do you think basketball? I don't know. I don't, but well, we'll see. Right, Marquette's still out there, Creighton's out there. They're doing what they do. So I'm excited for that, and of course UConn. So you got 3 right there that are showing out. And then next year, hopefully, it'll play that way. But for everybody, it doesn't necessarily mean the Big East, but these secondary conferences, don't sleep on those guys. And for the record, man, I got burned. I got burned by James Madison. I'm glad I couldn't get on with you guys because I was going to play that. Holy cow. Did Duke come out and man.
But E is anytime he can bet against Duke, He's betting against Duke. That dude hates Duke more than anyone I've ran across. I mean, there's some Dukies. My son loves North Carolina. His stepdad loves North Carolina. And he'll give me some lip, but nobody hates on him like he.
Coach K's cheater. But besides that, he's gone. No, you know, but again, like go back to what I tell you guys on the show. I love senior teams, right? That was a senior team. That's a team that played together. My God, Duke. I mean, Duke. I don't know what they have left in the tank because they just came out in the can. God bless him. I like him, but
Whit
Let's see
don't
what
like
you
it,
think.
but Whit don't like the fingernail. Yeah, those fingernails were working. Yes, that game, man. Those fingernails were working, man.
I think with what you saw with the blowouts yesterday, I think what you saw is like James Madison's not used to playing 2-3 games really intense. And I think Duke and the ACC are these Big East teams. They play a very intense schedule, and they're used to rising to that level, not one time, not 2 times, but continually every game playing at a high level like that. And I think that's what you're seeing from some of those schools and why there was blowouts yesterday. But I'll let Zach take it. He's got some making up to do with the state of Colorado. You know what I mean? Or
I'll tell you what, obviously, hey, Elite Eight coming our way, or like E likes to call it, the Grade 8. Some big action. I'll tell you the games I'm most excited for right now. And a team we haven't really talked about, I don't really think at all, but a game I'm very well interested in is this Clemson-Arizona game. Clemson's really surprised me in this tournament. And like I said, I don't know if you have really any airtime or anything, but watching them the past couple games, especially going against New Mexico and everything, those guys, they were some sharpshooters from the three-point territory and everything, and really just got their guys going. So I'm kind of interested what to see. Obviously, going up against a better Arizona team, but I say right now we don't give Clemson, don't bat an eye against those guys again. And then the other one I'm very interested in, Sach said NC State versus Marquette. I still think right now DJ Burns is the most if not the best center right now left in this tournament. Obviously, you got some bigger players over in the number 1 seeds and everything, but I think DJ Burns is still forced to mess with, like Sach said, with the Marquette CU matchup. When they stopped feeding Lampkin is when they started having more problems. You got to get your big guys involved in this tournament, especially for the second chance buckets and everything. Get a play extended or whatnot. DJ Burns is that guy. If he's 5 feet from the rim, you better hope you got some help defense coming down on him because he's going to make you pay. And I think that's going to be a tough game. Right now, NC State's sitting plus 6.5 with the spread. So something interesting there. I don't know how E or Whit feel about it, but I know Sach and myself definitely going to be looking into that one pretty heavily. And then the last game, obviously you got Creighton, Tennessee, Duke, Houston. Those are interesting, but I'm interested again on Gonzaga and Purdue right here. I want to see how far Purdue can really go. Zach Edey obviously is a strong college basketball player. But I think they're going to start slowing up here, gents. I don't know how you guys feel. My next question, though, to the gents in the chat and everything, and we're a lot of guys, YouTube, Twitch, as well as X. If you have a question on NCAA March Madness, throw it our way in the chat, guys. We are here for the next hour talking all things sports, especially with this big tournament. But my next question for the fellas here is, any changes, your guys, horse winning the race here? Anything you've seen? Are you sticking to your guns with your number 1 team to win the actual Natty? Go with such.
I mean, I still like North Carolina. They showed a lot of guts, obviously, when they were down early to Michigan State. It's kind of nice having a team that you did pick to win when it shows their veteran leadership. They came back down from like 12, I think it was, or something around that. And then next thing you know, they're blowing them off the rails. So that's still good to see. I'm still confident in them, but I think when I look at all these teams left, I think UConn and North Carolina just look like the cream of the crop. But I know they both can't get in, but one of them, I definitely see getting in for sure out of those 2 teams. So I'm still sticking with my guns with North Carolina. Houston did show a little bit of, they didn't show, that wasn't their strongest game. Obviously, when you can't close a game out like that, when you're up by 12 with 2 minutes left, that's a big concern. But at the end of the day, they did get it done. They did go into overtime with 3 starters out, and then it turned into 4 starters. So they got depth, but they're playing with fire with all that foul trouble, and I don't think they'll do that again. They're a well-coached team. They have been there. I think it was like 4 straight Sweet 16s that they've been to, 4 or 5. So Houston is, still obviously on the radar. They're number 1 team for a reason, but I think a lot of these number 1, the 3 number 1, or 3 out of the 4 number 1 seem like pretty damn good juggernauts right now. So I think this will be a year where you could see about three of the number 1s in the Final Four. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Obviously, it can't, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think so. I still had UConn. UConn was my team. That's who I had to win it all. That'd be the first repeat since I think 06, 07. So when Florida did it. So I still like UConn. But here's the thing. When you look at the Thursday, the 4 games Thursday, Clemson, Arizona, San Diego State, UConn, Alabama, North Carolina, Illinois, Iowa State. The only team of those 8 I would be like, how'd they get here? Is San Diego State. Lack athleticism, don't have a lot of length, can't create their own shot from the guard position on many occasions. And then you go to NC State, Marquette, Gonzaga, Purdue, Duke, Houston, Creighton, and Tennessee. The only one I would be shocked that they're in the Final Four is NC State. I would be shocked if they made it to the Final Four. And that's because of the same exact thing, right? They're one-dimensional. I think what they have to go up against with Marquette's guard play and the defense that they're going to get thrown at them on the perimeter, not so much with Burns. Burns might get his, but I still think the guards are going to get theirs, and Marquette's guards are going to eat. Gonzaga can very well beat Purdue. I think 1 through 5, they're better. I think they're a more cohesive unit. I also think Zach Edey they're too dependent on him, and he's one bad game away from them losing a double-digit game. So when I look at what's about to transpire, I really only see. I mean, I'm excited, but I really only see 2 teams that I'm like, how did they get there? And if NC State gets there, it would be a miracle. But I think if San Diego State gets there, if you were to reseed the team, San Diego State would be 16, and then you would move up from there. And I watch San Diego State a lot. But if we were to reseed these, and it'd be interesting to do, you know what I mean, to reseed them, how it would look. Houston, I think they're too guard dependent. I think they do play a lot of defense. I think they're going to get in foul trouble as these games get closer. Again, I think they could lose 1 or 2 starters, and that could cost them. But I think they're heavily relying on their guards. Don't have a guy down there that they can just say, hey, go get me a bucket. So while I like Houston, I look at what they have to get through. They got to get through Duke. They got to get through Creighton. They got to get through Tennessee. They got to get through like these teams. They got to get through Creighton or Tennessee after Duke. I think, right? No. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. So yeah, I still like UConn. I still like UConn. If you're just going to say pick a team, I still like UConn.
Yeah, you can't really go against saying, oh, I don't like UConn anymore. If you like UConn at the beginning, like you said, you're still loving them. You're still loving them pretty good.
They've been the most consistent. If there's other teams I'd really like to see win or I really like, that's my horse. That's who I'd win it all. And there's nothing to say, well, it shifted me off them because of, these trends or this analysis.
Yeah. And I mean, like what you said with Houston, those guards, Sheed went fucking ballistic. The whole game was just unreal by that guy. So, I mean, yeah, the Houston guard play is going to be interesting. They're going to have to take them over the top.
Yeah, I still got UConn, right? That was my pick. And I'm pretty fortunate. The goal is to get out of this week. And I still have all 4 of my Final Four teams in there. So, UConn, I like UConn, like Houston, Creighton, and then Arizona. So I'm sitting good. My top 4 are still in the house. But I'm going to tell you what, up the game. I still like UConn. But Houston, and Sox, you made the point. You got 4 of your starters out, and you win a game.
That's tough.
You talk about that locker room and the confidence that is on that team right now. To know that their B guys can step in and win a game like that. They got Duke next. It's going to be interesting, right? Because they're both coming off big wins, but I just think Houston, you guys all played ball before. Their confidence is sky high right now, and they know the belief is there. So, but UConn, I still think is. And when the tournament started, remember we talked. Auburn's out. Some of these other teams are out. The only one stopping them now, I think, is going to be Iowa State if they can get there, right, to go to the 8. So the path is opened up in the East.
E, what's your thoughts on those extra minutes where Duke was able to rest their starters in the second half?
I think we'll be all right because you have what do we have, 4 days off now. So I think where you saw it play into it is that CU game, because they played an extra game going into the tournament, right? Like they had a day off and they went right into that tournament. So, but I think now with the time off and these are professional teams, even though they're college teams. They have the top trainers. Everything's getting done. They're probably just doing walkthroughs and shorts and t-shirts. They'll be ready to go. If it was a Thursday or Friday night and then they had to play that Saturday, Sunday, yeah, the legs might be an issue, but.
So when I look into all of these, I definitely look into the matchups now. The new teams competing against each other. Obviously, with this Duke Houston one, this one's interesting. This one's very interesting to me. Like you guys just said, was able to compete and over without their stars and everything. Duke has some good guys on their team though that can start lining it up. A guy we haven't really talked about much is TikTok sensation Jay McCain. That guy, when he gets hot from the 3-point range and he can create some space, he gets moving. I mean, he had 30-some points in the last game. Absolutely cooking. We forget about Flip over there at Duke. I'll tell you what, when I was watching that Houston-Texas A&M game, obviously Houston has the far superior defense in this tournament. That's what everyone's talked about the whole time coming into this. I still think they exposed in their championship game going into the tournament and whatnot. And the only guy I really saw stand out over in Houston is Snead. He was the one who hit the last shot to kind of put him away in overtime. He can create a lot. He's a tiny guard type player, really quick, get off his feet. But watching that entire game, I never really saw anyone else kind of step up to the plate and everything and really contribute with him. So if there's a time for Duke to get in, it is this game right here. It is now or never. I like their chance here. I like this matchup wise. We're going to see how strong this Houston defense is. And going back to this Purdue-Gonzaga game, I think Gonzaga can sneak one in this one as well. I think we're going to see how far Zach Edey can really go. But Witt said it himself, they rely on him way too much. And that worked when you were playing some of these higher seeds and everything. But now you're playing a legit team with a legit head coach who has been in this tournament for many, many years. We're going to find out what happens here. But again, I've had UConn kind of with all you guys from the beginning of the tournament. To me, they're just that far superior team that has everything on each level, and they're ready to ball and everything. So we'll see what happens. But then again, going back to Penn State and Marquette, I'm just going to say it again for Eric McCullough in the chat. I don't know matchup-wise who is going to be able to guard DJ Burns. And I'm not just saying this to like poke fun or anything. This guy is insane. Like I said in the last video, I don't even need to tell you a number, tell you who he is. You just look at the screen.
They don't believe in DJ Burns, bro.
You just look at the screen when they're playing. You don't need to know who he is, what number he is, anything like that. But when you look at that screen, you're going to know exactly who he is. The dude is an absolute monster. They're going to just start double teaming this cat. I really don't know what's going to happen. And Marquette doesn't really have a center that stands out to me who can get on and press him. So we'll find out.
So let me just give you a retort. And I don't know what's going to happen, right? Who of us do? But didn't it? I just said deja vu. I swear with you two too. Replace Marquette with Creighton, and you guys were telling me this about Oregon. Oh my God, Oregon!
That was a bad beat. That was a bad beat.
Time out. And what I said, I don't know how. I can't explain it to you, but Creighton's going to win that game. These guys, the ballers, are going to win out. But that just reminded me the same thing right there. It's like, whoa, I believe in the big fella, but he's one man. He's one man. Let's see what happens. I don't know. They're a 2 seed, 11 seed. I got Marquette, but I reserve to change my answer before Thursday.
The thing that I would say with Creighton is they literally almost let 2 guys beat them by themselves.
So they could have lost that 8 different ways.
beat them by themselves. That's the only scary thing. There was no like pitching in. I think there was 6 points and then like 5 points or 4 points, then 2 points. So no one
Can I say
scored
something
like
real
over
quick,
like
Zach?
8 points for them, which was bad. But I don't know. I think Tennessee's a little bit more balanced than that Oregon team, so that would be the scary thing. I think Dalton Connect, if they're letting this other dude go off for 30 and 40 points and whatnot, I think he could give them troubles. But I'm just not really too sold on Creighton. I know they're good. They're obviously a good team. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but I just don't see it.
I just want to add real quick, and just to Eric and whatnot. And I don't want to go back and talk about past wounds or whatnot and everything. And Eric called it from the jump. He said what Creighton was going to do to Oregon and whatnot. So, good on him. He called that. But I just wanted to be thrown out there that Creighton didn't beat Oregon. Oregon really beat themselves. They had the game and everything. They turned the ball over with seconds to go to put them into that overtime and everything. We knew it was going to be a close game. I get what you're saying, Eric, but at the same time, and to what Sach was saying kind of through the chat line, you can't let your freshman guards be doing these things. It's the NCAA tournament. You don't make mistakes like that. Good on Creighton for pulling up the dub, but like I said, I think Oregon just lost it themselves and whatnot. They had
that's a take. That's a take. But let me come from a further West Coast here, Pac-12 guy.
Sure.
Sure.
Oregon, they were there, but they panicked. And Creighton continued to play basketball. And that's what you saw happen in that
I agree.
Is they hit some, like Oregon had more lucky shots than Creighton did. Creighton played basketball the entire time and got dry a little bit, right? But they still, if you watch their offense, they still ran their offense. They were still moving and flowing the way they were. Oregon turned to two guys, and they started taking wild shots, and they did not play well, like 12-1, and I think the second overtime is 12-1, which makes you sick with our parlay. Just an absolute travesty what happened with that. Because as soon as Zach texts, man, we got this, I was like, shit.
I know, bro. ZJ. I have to bring that up. ZJ, you cannot do that.
Twice. He did it last night too.
You can't.
He did it last night too. He did it last night. Get used to
You gotta tell him you can't count your chickens before the eggs are hatched.
Oh my God.
Because the gambling gods will shove their fists so far up your ass.
Hey, Zach, we're not gonna do wisdom tonight, but
he was talking about sending slips in.
Yes.
Hey, there's no wisdom tonight, but I'm gonna give you some impromptu shit. Bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. All right.
Hey, ZJ, I'm gonna save you from all this. I got a question for you. So outside of that, is coaching not part of this game? Anything, right? Coaching is. Okay, 100%, and scheming and planning. So, Oregon beat themselves because the freshman inbound the ball. Who made that call? I'm just trying to figure that out. Big East team took advantage of it, and now they get no respect. And the freshman knees were knocking, inbounding the ball, and
the shooter on the court, he inbounded the ball, bro.
Just trying, and then, yeah, I'm just saying.
That is a bonehead play. Dana Altman is a legit, a solidified good college basketball coach. How the hell do you have your freshman inbound the ball and not tell him it goes to only two people on this damn court? And if they're not open, you call a timeout or I'm going to call a timeout. You do not pass it to him, and you do not pass it to him. Why in the hell would you pass it to the worst free throw shooter that you had on the court?
About 30 seconds before that, certain Texans were going across the airwaves of America.
I'm glad you brought that up, E. I almost forgot about that. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that made me sick to my ass.
Well, we'll see
Throw it
this
out
week.
there now, bad blood on me. That was bad on me. I shouldn't have did that and everything. It was just
Hold
that
up, hold
point.
up. Sorry, ZJ. Sorry. Hold on.
No, because like
You're good.
exactly what Sach is saying about the whole inbound and everything that happened. Watching that game as an ex-player, Sach as an ex-player, I know damn well if Sach was on that court, he would not let anyone like that inbound the ball. He would make sure that wouldn't happen. As a leader on the court, as we all should. So when I sent that, that was just beyond me. That wasn't like it was one of those things where I couldn't even imagine happening. That's on me, fellas. I caused this delay. Good on Eric for cashing out.
Yeah.
That was smart on Eric. That was smart on Eric.
I took my money and ran it, not because I thought anything different. I was in on that parlay, but when I saw the money that could be made, I just cashed it.
Yeah.
But they know Biggie Jones, but you can't. I mean, then you did it again yesterday. Let's wait to the final clock and the bell rings. I was out on the strip. I thought Houston lost.
And
A&M money line. A&M money line. I said, oh my God, Houston's out. And I'm walking back into the casino. I see they win in overtime. And there was like some coach was thanking some obscure poser who shouted out Texas money line, the biggest jinx in college sports.
And then he brings me into it when he sends the text, like, you
Yeah,
guys.
just
I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah, true.
I didn't even say anything the whole day.
Just a new rule: 30 seconds to allow that delay to get through, Jones, before the games are over.
Life lesson to the live viewers and listeners out there: don't count your
Yes.
money before you have it,
Best
guys.
lesson.
You were just happy.
Hey,
But you didn't sleep.
Time and old CJ there.
CJ didn't sleep after that Oregon game, so I'm sorry for that because I know it bothered you in the summer.
Kenny Rogers said it. Don't count your money while you're sitting at the table, Zach. You know better than that. We've been around, hung around, drank enough whiskey together, enough cold Coors Lights. I tell you all the time, and one in the hand is better than two in the bush. All right.
But guys, here we go, off and rolling on this Monday night. I'm sorry to do it to you, my guy. I can't stop it. It's on a timer. It is Monday. Here we go.
Hey, I'm gonna go Edwards on you. You play to win the game, and all these teams are playing to win the game. But much like Eric said, find yourself a mentor in life. Find yourself someone that's been through something different. Find yourself that's more seasoned at life and what you want to do in your profession or what you want to do to achieve your goals. Find yourself a mentor, a coach, because coaching, just like Big E said, it matters in life. And then surround yourself with 3 to 5 great people, because I'm telling you right now, most people will tell you that's been successful is look at your friends, look at your 5 friends, and I'll show you what you're about to be the average of. You're about to be the average of those 5 friends. So who you hang around, who you navigate around, that's who you're going to become. But find a mentor, find someone who's been through something that you haven't or has achieved something that you're trying to achieve, and hang on to them. So like I said, they play to win the game of life, the game of basketball. We're going to see who's going to win starting Thursday and Friday. But I think there's some favorites, but I think there's some great coaches out there that you'll see 1, maybe 2 games won through that coaching or that mentorship. So, hey, that's Wit's Wisdom. Appreciate y'all. Happy Monday.
That's our guy, ladies and gents, the inspiration of the channel. That's Wit. And we are off and rolling, guys. We'll take a brief break in the action, but coming up right after this quick pause, we're going to just go over the final Elite 8 games and give our prediction of who we think is going to take it. And obviously, we'll jump into some plays as we get later on into the tourney. Roll call. All right, guys, this is the Champ After Hours edition, live YouTube, Twitch, and X. The fellas are in house. Wit's got a drink in his hand. Sach is fired up. And he is coming to us live from Las Vegas, as he should be. That's his spot. Just wanted to do a quick around the room again, following this and games coming up on Thursday and whatnot, with the final, with us heading into the Elite 8. Any prediction wise, let's just go to the list from each of us who we're seeing we're going to take. And obviously, we'll put this in the chat later. Any plays you guys might think of at the moment? I know I'm putting you on the spot. We'll definitely get into more plays as the week progresses and anything. But anything you guys are kind of looking at right now, but just really prediction wise, going down late, who we taking? So Sach.
Yeah, and I mean, no surprise here. I'm gonna probably end up going with the NC State plus 6.5, maybe by a point and whatnot because it's almost close to even money. So try to get that at 7.5, and then I really like North Carolina against Alabama. The more that I'm looking at it, minus about 3.5. That's one that I'm looking at. I just like to just continue rolling with North Carolina and those seniors over there. The experience, they showed some guts last win. So those will be the two plays that I'm really looking at. I do like Gonzaga, like you said, ZJ, and I do like UConn, obviously, from what they've shown. So also keeping eyes on Tennessee, but my favorite two plays I'm looking at is NC State and North Carolina.
Yeah, I like UConn to cover the 10.5. I know this is the largest spread of the weekend. I just like them to do it. They've been out east all. San Diego State has traveled. Obviously, it's out east. So I like UConn to cover the 10.5. The other piece I like, and it's funny, but I like Gonzaga to cover the 5.5. I don't think Purdue's gonna roll away with that. I think Gonzaga's better coached. I think 1 through 5 they're better. So those are the two that I'm looking at. And then I like Creighton too, man. Creighton is an underdog at plus 2.5. So if you're going to go out there, I think that game is going to be interesting because I think Tennessee is more athletic. I think they're longer. I think that's going to disrupt Creighton's shooters a little bit. But I think Creighton is a better team. I think Creighton is the better team. So unless Tennessee, 1 or 2 gets loose to go for 20 plus, 2 of them, I think Creighton's going to keep that very close. And I think if it's in the waning moments, I think Creighton, better coached and better team, wins that game. And so I like that one too. So those would be the 3 that I'm looking at right now. Like again, more analysis and such. But I wasn't going to go against Sach's NC State, but that's another one I'll be looking at. But I'll be looking at it from a different lens. So now he's got me thinking. I'm glad we do it early in the week, so I'm able to go back and kind of see what he thinks. But that's where I'm at. But if I'm laying money, I'm going UConn 10.5. That's going to be guaranteed.
Sach ain't changing my mind. He didn't talk me out of it. Marquette, and then one more Marquette. And the big fella, he going to get his, and then no one else eats. We're going to be okay. Marquette's going to get this figured out. And excuse me because I'm just on my phone now, my computer. I don't have the lines and stuff in front of me. UConn is something like, and going into the Big East tournament before, they're like 13-0 against the spread. I think that's going to continue. They'll cover that 10.5. If you guys like that, get that now. Because as we get closer, see the thing with bettors is bettors are kind of day to day. So they're not looking at these Thursday, Fridays just yet. But when they do, when they start laying into it, it's going to go up 12.5, 11.5. If you like that UConn, get it tonight. But I do think UConn will win. I think it's the end of Duke's ride. I do. I think Houston solidified themselves in that game. I'm not, we'll see what comes out, right? That's the great thing about this show. We'll see where we're at the end. And a lot can happen between now and then. I could change my mind before tip-off, but so give me that the NC State Duke. Who am I missing? Tennessee. Great. Man, I have Creighton in my Final Four, but I think Tennessee might get them. Tennessee just has the rank. I don't know what they'll do, but I don't know what they're going to do rebounding in the second test. And then which one am I forgetting?
We got Iowa and Illinois.
Oh,
Iowa.
That's going to be Iowa State, Illinois. Yeah. Eesh. That's in my mind, I'll just call it a pick 'em tonight. Because like I said, I'm just sitting out here. But I'll have you something by the time before it goes. That's a good one. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. There's going to be some good ones.
And Houston, Houston won 11 in a row before Iowa State beat them to win their conference title. I don't know. These guys, they kind of scary as well.
So right now, obviously with my bracket and everything, I had Tennessee and UConn to be in the final two for the NAGIP and everything. I still really like that. I think they're two great teams. Sach is kind of pushing me off on the UNC thing. I am starting to believe in them a lot more. They look really great. They're peaking at the right time of the tournament too. So UNC again, and I said this, before the tournament even started, sleep on UNC. This team is going to make their run. Plays I am definitely looking into, and obviously we'll post more content as the weeks get close. Everything. Yeah, and we might have to put some action on this one with me and E. And Dodge might even want to hop on this too, but get NC State versus Marquette. Juice it up to +7.5. I will take that all day long. I know good ball when I see it. I saw what Marquette was doing against CU. Didn't really surprise me at all. Didn't really stand up in my seat.
How do you know good ball when you see it, and then you're going to juice the spread up? You're not even taking the spread. You're like, but give me some extra points, and then I like these guys. Give me some extra points, and I like these guys.
Hey, the next Barstool Sports women's hoodie is going to say, I know good ball when I see it, and I juiced it up.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be a great one. But, yeah, really love that game. So I'm going to take the spread with this one with NC State. Obviously, we'll put another flick out there later in the week. But even to put a little cash on the money line, it's +230. So if I like them there, obviously sprinkle a little on the money line as well. And again, Hunter, I'm going back to with the Gonzaga-Purdue game. I really like the points with Gonzaga at +5.5. I think this is going to be a lot closer game. We kind of talked about this earlier on in the earlier shows. Purdue really kind of had an easier road going down, and whatnot. We're just blowing these teams out. They really haven't played a tough competition yet. This Gonzaga game should shake it up at least a little bit more. It's going to be a little more competitive there. And again, going back to what Witt said, they can't just rely on Zach Edey now how far they are in the tournament. It's going to get tougher. And here's another one me and E are kind of at arms with and everything. I absolutely hear what he's saying, but I will take the points with Duke and Houston. Again, what I said earlier on in the tournament, I think I've just seen Houston in a little situations where I haven't liked them and whatnot. I like Jared McClain. I like Flip over there from Duke. They're going to get the thing rolling. They're a competitive team. Let's see what happens, but I think these are just going to be some close ball games, guys. When they're giving you points like this, I don't know. It's March. It's the Elite Eight. It's time to make some action and get things going. But I love it. Obviously, guys, follow the social media accounts, TikTok and Instagram. We're going to have these plays coming to you each and every day. Be sure to stay on the lookout for E's list. I know that thing's going to be absolute fire, as well as Sacha and myself will have some. I know it's get in there with everything in it all. But that's kind of going to do it for the March Madness until Thursday, right? We got some time to prepare, get us ready for these games. We're here, baby. We are getting deeper and deeper into it. And as he likes to say, take us deep, baby.
I forgot about that.
Here we go. All right, then for that, listen, I know basketball. I know good ball when I see it. And one last thing on the tourney. I'm going to pay it down. I'm taking UConn -2. I mean, that's what I feel good with. UConn -2. I'll pay this.
You can get NC State +7.5 at -125, so it's not like
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that you call them out and then you take extra points. I just don't like it. That's safety. That's a safety net. That's not confidence. That's a safety net.
And
I don't think it's a safety net. I think it's disrespectful for Vegas to be giving. Vegas has been dogging NC State the whole tournament. They've been giving up too many points for NC State, and they haven't caught up yet. And I'm not saying they're going to catch up now, but I mean,
but the spread's 6.5, right? And you're taking 7.5.
Yeah, for all the viewers and listeners, why would you not take 7.5 at -125? I mean, I'm just trying.
Yeah, UConn -2. I got UConn -2.
UConn -2. Mine.
It's all fun and games here, guys. This is the Bet Champ Show after hours. Absolute. Look at Q and check. Letting you know. NC, baby.
He had NC State. Remember, Q had NC State.
Q had NC State. Shout out to our guy.
Good call. Good call. I wasn't dogging NC State.
No,
I just don't. I think it ends. It ends this week.
I hear you. It's all fun and games between me and E. We're just making it fun here on the show. We got about, a little under 10 minutes left in the show. We'll kind of jump real quick. We haven't really focused, especially with the morning show, on NBA, but we started back today with the props. Again, like Sach said, 4-0 going into this. Sach, you kind of got any updates on some of the plays right now? What's going on? I'll check in on the hockey game real quick.
Yeah, hockey game, they're down 2-1, the Canucks. So hopefully they end up, it's hockey. We saw the Avs pull off a crazy.
What period?
I think it's end of the second.
End of the second. They got all third. Hockey's crazy. There's so many breaks and everything that a lot can happen
quick. But also going into that, Harrison Barnes had 0 points in the first quarter.
Oh.
But, hey, that's part of it.
He's saving.
That was a green zone across the board.
Yeah, that's green bean.
Pandemic P has 6 points in the first quarter, so that's looking, on track. But yeah, shoot, we just need 1 or 2 of them to hit, and we're fine. So nothing to worry about. We're still in the green zone, hopefully. But going off of NBA, a big story that I'm looking in is Houston. Houston is making a run, and they're making a quick run, and they're looking actually. The most surprising thing is without their best player, they have no Sengun, the baby Joker, which is really shocking on why the run is happening without him in the lineup. But obviously they're having a Jalen Green who's playing like a man possessed right now. He's scoring 30, 40 points. He's shooting threes and looking around. I'm hearing whispers in the NBA community about, child support. Jalen Green is up there with, Hoodie Kyrie, Hoodie Melo, face mask Kyrie, all those guys. So it's going to be interesting to look at this final push. Our Warriors are cooked. Steve Kerr has CTE at the moment. He's sitting Steph for 9 minutes when they're up 4, and then he puts them in when they're down 8. I just don't fucking get it with this guy. He's saving his minutes for no reason when we're going up against the number 1 team in the West.
I found this.
I just don't know what's going on. But, yeah, Houston's probably the main story that I would look at right now. Nuggets are still looking like the juggernaut. So, really kind of the same boat that we're looking at for NBA-wise, I would say.
I think with the Steph thing, I don't know. I'm not one way or the other. What I think is like he knows he's going to play a play-in game. And so do I have this guy fresh for those 2 games or that 1 game? Or now you're not going to get to the 6th seed. So, you know what I mean? So what does it matter? So I think that's
Houston caught up now. That's the main. That's the
Right now they're out the playoff game. They're not even in the playoffs.
Yeah, but who?
The Warriors last night. The Rockets replaced them as the playoff team, play-in team.
They're still 1 game back.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go. They're still 1 game back. They're half a game back in the record, 13.5, 14. So Golden State's still 10 games. So last night was fall, but
they are still in as the 10. Okay, I think Houston might have lost.
From that aspect, I think trying to get some players, keeping Steph fresh. I think you're playing a playing game because you're not going to jump up. You're out 5 games behind the Kings, so that's not going to happen. But moving along, the biggest story to me is the Shohei Ohtani. Why are we not talking about that? And I'm going to give you
might as well get him on the show.
I'm going to take you a hot take on that. I don't know what's going on, but what I do know is I've been involved with a lot of entanglements. I've been involved with a lot of behavior that was less than ethical. And I do know what people don't do is the guy that was with you, your road dog, doesn't fall on the sword 63 seconds into the spot getting blown up. I also know that in all the years, I've never seen MLB pick up an investigation or ask the federal investigators, can we investigate alongside you on our own? And we don't want any information until your investigation is done and ours is done. That's their cash cow. I think everything happened too soon. I think the story changed abruptly. Maybe it's a cultural thing. Shohei came out. He spoke for 12 minutes. He didn't say much. The bookie came out immediately through his lawyer and said, I've never taken money from Shohei. I've never done X, Y, and Z. Everyone just kind of exonerated Shohei right away. I think this story gets interesting. I think what we know is about 33% of what's actually gone on, and I think about 16.5% of that is probably true. But too many people came out and just exonerated this person, and one under federal investigation is probably going to be indicted. The other one who allegedly took $4.5 million. And the last piece I'll tell you to this: if I'm using a buddy's money, ZJ Sach E, and I'm into $4.5 million deep, and I say I bet on every sport there is out there known to man, but I've never bet on baseball. At what point at 2 million, 3 million, do you not say, why would I not bet on the one that I have the most inside information on? So this thing's going to get spicy. I'm not a Bachelor fan, but I like the drama, and I was completely blindsided by this. So I think we're going to see a lot more, and man, this could be a huge scar or a black eye for not only my Dodgers, but for MLB. So, hey, free Pete Rose.
Facts.
Free Pete. I like the way you started. You're like, here's a hot take, and then you said, I don't know what's going on.
But so what I was going to say is, like, I
about
want to invite the guy. But the hot take is a lot of unethical behavior going there. I've experienced myself, and most people don't come out and say, hey, boom, boom, boom. And there was a lot of people saying we all did it, not him.
Yeah, and, to your point, like you're saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. And the bookie's under oath, and he's right. He didn't take any money from Shohei. He took it from the interpreter. So it doesn't matter, that in-between guy, if you link that back, and God forbid he was betting Angel games, when he knows the health of the players and himself, I'd be interested to see what baseball does with it, because he's the darling. He's the international darling. We'll see what comes out with that. That's a good take on that list. Baseball is kind of falling off, so I like that. That's all I got to say about that, Forrest.
A lot going on. I just wanted to add to the conversation, everything going on. Shout out to all the live viewers and listeners, guys. We always appreciate you being here. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a follow on the social media accounts, guys. I said Toss Now each plays to you each and every day. Just wanted to add, we're in a good time for sports right now. If you're a sports fan, sports here. Getting closer into that title game for the NCAA March Madness tournament, as well as we are edging into the NBA playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. Is getting excited up in here, as well as the NHL hockey playoffs are getting closer as well. Things are heating up, guys. This is a great time to be a sporter, like I said, and we're going to have plays coming your way every day, and they're only going to get better and better. You're going to ride this journey with us. We got some exciting things to come, but a lot of big stuff happening in sports right now, ladies and gents. Thank you to all the live viewers and listeners. Again, as always, that'll pretty much do it for tonight's show. We'll just do a quick around the room like we always do. Anything anyone wants to add or just throw out there? Yeah, then we'll see you guys again Thursday night.
I'll go ahead and say, obviously, the Shohei news was big because it's linked to him gambling and stuff like that. Also, I don't know if a lot of people saw today, NBA breaking news investigations going on about Jontay Porter, brother of Michael Porter Jr., who plays on the Raptors, is suspended and under investigation for allegedly his under props in the last 3 games have been really weird to the books, and there's been a high volume, an unweirdly volume on Jontay Porter's unders that, Caesars, BetMGM, all these books are saying that, yeah, there was a weird, unnecessary, high volume on that certain player that's not been happening. So he's now under investigation about, stuff linked to his props. I saw the other day, he was sick when he started the game. He was sick, went in, took 1 shot, and 3 minutes into the game, he pulled himself out, and he was nowhere to be found when he returned because of the sickness. So it's looking a little weird where we're headed in sports right now with a lot of these players doing these weird things like that. So, always be careful when you bet because you never know. There's a lot of grimy shit that goes on even with these players. You don't think that their homies are at the house talking, knowing what's wrong with them, seeing all this stuff like that happens. And sports within the last 2 years has seen a lot of these little investigations go on, especially now with Shohei, Calvin Ridley, a couple other dudes that weren't big names, but they were, banned from the NFL, suspended and whatnot. So interesting NBA one. I think this is the first NBA player that we've kind of heard about under investigation. But Jonte Porter, MPJ's brother, I just don't get it on why he would do something like that. But we'll see. I guess there were people trying to bet like 20 and 30,000 on his unders out of nowhere. And then he leaves the game 3 minutes in saying that he's too sick to play and he leaves. A lot of these people got denied. So, Jonte Porter, I think MPJ already has a brother that's in prison for a DUI or something like that. And now another one could probably be in trouble legally. So interesting what sports betting has done to the sports world and the players. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point. Here's a couple things too, right? That it's actually the sports books that report that. Like, it's not like some other investigator found us out. The sports books reported in, hey, there's been a change that's different.
Yeah.
And no longer is it like a guy with a pencil in his ear making these spreads. It's all AI. So maybe he doesn't hit his number one day. Maybe he's not close 2 days. But 3 days, 4 days, 5, now you have a break of what's not the norm. And it's done in like microseconds. Yeah, that sucks, man, if that's what's going on. He's done. And then, if I was ever going to change the system, I'm a nickel and dime, right? You're going to come in 20, 30K on a player's under. You know what I mean? I'll put 1,000 on it every night and it's consecutively going.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's just big flags go up. So that's horrible. I'll end it with something too, let's just take it from the back page of the sports, but NFL, Tennessee Titans, pick up Snead from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They are quietly putting a team together. I'm not saying they're winning a Super Bowl next year, but they are putting in work. I like what they're doing. Nice and quiet down there. But if you remember, he had one of the plays of the game. When it was I forget the receiver. His first quarter touchdown pass. He swatted it away.
Wait, what's he talking
Yeah, I
about?
like that.
Wait, what's he talking about?
Look at Sammy Wide Eyes. I don't know. He's got a thing for you, though, Satch. But that'll do it for tonight.
Maybe he put the 20K in.
Damn. Don't do that to yourself.
Hey, it's going to get
worse.
worse.
Under there.
It's going to get worse before it gets better. Just like when you go to the bank, suspicious activity reports, etc. Too much volume there, like Eric said, with the AI and stuff. You think they're not looking at those reports, and they have someone that does that job in itself, that they just read what is spit out and said, hey, this hasn't been bet in this or this. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that's how it goes. Man, Sammy must be on that Henny.
20K.
Sammy drunk.
Sammy here drunk.
Sammy, where are you at? He should have been in here the whole time, bro.
We will see Sammy again next episode. Guys, check us out again Thursday, 8 p.m., the after hour show. But catch me and Sach tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're going to have all those NBA props for you coming your way as this these picks, guys. We were 4-0 heading into tonight's show, and we are still rocking and rolling. That'll do it for tonight's episode, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace, gents. Enjoy yourself, E. There you go, Wit.
Who's
I
fucking
Wit
talking?